Hi, I'm Mark Ruff, and I want to tell you a little bit about what's happened to me. About 6 months ago, um, my heart gave out and my aorta um, uh, dissected, and which means that I was about to die. Um, my wife was home, and ambulance came, and we went to the hospital. Um, and there were a few people around right away that helped me. Our neighbor Leslie Stoltz and Jeff Carlson was big in helping us. Um, the surgery that they prepared me for um, has about depending on who you read, has about a 2% survival rate. Obviously, I'm in that 2% club because I'm here today. But the doctors and nurses prepared my wife for the other 98%, which means that they weren't really expecting me to come out of this. And my daughters called. It was the middle of the night. They called um, to say goodbye. And luckily, God has been good, and I don't remember that part. They do, but I don't. So surgery took about 9.5 hours, and that's a good thing because if they said if they came out sooner, then that's usually not a good thing. But people were called. Friends came by. It took so long. I had friends from Tucson that made it up, and being that I was out, I've seen the pictures. But there was about 60 people in the waiting room when the doctor came out. The doctor, she said it wasn't like going out to a normal family. It was a press conference. And she was a little bit intimidated by the whole thing. But that's because people at Harvest and other friends were there praying for me and for my family. I was out for like a week. Was not really aware of anything, and had a stroke and had multiple strokes at that point, and also within the next month. But the main thing people ask me is that are you upset that you went through this, or are you disappointed in God or anything like that? Absolutely not. And because life is 100% fatal, so I'm not disappointed in that. But I do view this as testimony to God's people praying, and that there's something else that perhaps He has for me. So I'm reminded of Paul, and he wrote a letter in prison, and where he said that people were causing him harm, but it didn't really matter as their purpose was to share Christ, whether it was to cause him harm or not. Eventually, Christ got shared, and that was the main thing. And he says, for I know that your prayers and the help of the Spirit of Jesus Christ will turn out for my deliverance. And for me and my family, we really saw that. We saw the church and our friends just come alongside and help us in so many ways. Paul goes on to say that Christ will be honored in his body, and that for him to live as Christ and to die as gain, and it doesn't really matter or if I lived or died. It's what gets said after that, I think, that really matters. So I want to thank the church, and I want to thank our friends and our neighbors and things for helping us. And it's been 6 months. I'm looking forward to 1 year when this happens. And if you wonder if God is alive, If you wonder what that God has a plan for you, I'd be happy to talk to you about that and give you my take on that. Thanks.